Hi, this is Lori from Shoo Shoo Paper Art, and today I'm going to be sharing this gatefold card. And what's cool about it is that it has this frame, and so when you open it, it comes apart, and the frame comes apart in two pieces to reveal the inside. Also, that frame works as a latch to hold the card in place. So let's get started. The first thing you'll need is a piece of cardstock. I'm using 120 pound. That is 4 1/4 by 11. Then we're going to score in two places. We're going to score at 2 3/4 and at 8 1/4. So when it's folded, the card will actually be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that is all for the scores. All right, so let me fold these back. All right, want to make sure that they meet in the middle. So it looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is cut the frame. Now, when you're thinking about the frame, it could be any die that you can take a piece out of the middle. So, stacking dies are perfect for that, but you could also use other shaped dies that you could take like a square out of, or a circle, anything that will leave you with an open piece in the middle. So this one is just some old spellbinders dies, the ovals, one in scalloped and one in not scalloped. Okay, so I'm running them through my Big Shot Plus like this. I just used some Post-it notes to hold them in place. So after I ran it through, I ended up with the two pieces. It's a good idea to keep them the way they were originally cut, the tops together, because that way they'll be more likely to work as a latch. The next thing I'm going to do is to put these in place on the gatefold card. Now, what you want to watch is you want it to really be in the middle, and you want to be sure that the outside piece, I'm going to go ahead and remove the middle piece right now. The outside piece is only attached to the left side. So I'm going to look and see where this lines up exactly. Looks like about right here. And I'm only going to put glue on this side of the frame, on the left side. So I'm going to pick that up and turn it over, and now it'll be the right side. Oh, and by the way, if you can see the red there in my nail, don't worry, that's not blood. I was trying to refill a Copic marker and got a little carried away, and that is where I still can't get it off. So hopefully it'll wear off soon. All right, so I'm gonna line that back up and press it down in place. And I'm going to lift that up and just make sure that I don't have any glue. Yep, there's a little bit right there, so I'm going to wipe that off. Don't want it attaching itself to the other side. All right, so now that I've got the outside piece of the frame in place, I'm ready to do the inside piece. Now this time, I only want the inside piece to be glued to the right-hand side of the card. So this time I'm going to use this bit here to put my glue in, so that way I don't have to worry about the glue being in the wrong spot. So let's go ahead and put some glue in there. Okay. And then I'm just going to slide the frame, or the inside of the frame, in place. Trying to get a nice tight fit there, and then just press down only on that side there, making sure that it's nice and glued down. Okay. right, so basically that's all there is to the Gatefold frame card. But I'm going to go ahead and show a few little tips on making this card. So you can see on the left hand side of my card I have some stenciling, and that is with the Tim Holtz, this little plaid stencil here. That is actually really cool. And I just wanted a little bit on there. I didn't want it to come all the way over into the card necessarily, just kind of on the edge. So I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to use some blue painter's tape to kind of hold that in place. I actually used this color box for the colors on my card, and I use these cool brushes that I got from Amazon, and I'll have all this stuff linked below. I started out with a pink from that Colorbox set. I'm just going to ink up my brush. Is really cool because it's got a lot of different colors, and these kind of pop right out, which is nice if you want to use them just singly. I'm going to use this darker pink color as well. Okay, then I'm going to come back in with this smaller brush, which is one of the things that's really cool about these brush sets. And I'm going to use a little bit of orange, but I don't want it all over, so that's one reason why this smaller brush is really neat. I'm just going to kind of run it here on the edge. And I'm going to call that good. Let's take this off. There we go. And you can see the little bit of plaid border there on the side. Okay, the next thing that's fun about this card is, of course, the lion. He is so cool. I love him. Well, it just so happens that this stamp set came up in my Amazon feed, and I had to have him. I really like him. I don't know what it doesn't really have a name. I think it's a company out of China called Squirrels and Frogs. But the stamp set is really cool. I really, really like it. There's some strange sayings, like I don't understand the happy lion today. I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. But the rest of it is pretty cool. So anyway, once I got the lion, I went ahead and I decided to, instead of kind of coloring him in traditional lion colors, I wanted to do something a little more interesting. So I've got him stamped on some Express It blender card with Memento ink. And let's take a look at him here. Basically, I started with his face, and I wanted to do some just simple coloring. But I'm going to start with some Y35. And I also wanted to leave kind of some space here around his nose, just to give it a little bit different interest. And I'm going to just do some simple coloring. I'm really not worrying about shading or anything like that with this particular image. Okay, once I got that colored in, went in with some YR23, color that down there on his nose. All right, then some R20 for some cheeks. Right, then he's got this really cool mane. And instead of just staying with some traditional oranges, I added in some pinks to really make it pop. I used some RV13, some YR15, and some YR68. Okay. Now the thing that's interesting about these is you can make it look like you actually have more colors by overlapping the colors on top of each other. So I just started with some pink and putting it in here and there on the mane, just not even really kind of keeping track, no rhyme or reason, not like a pattern or anything, just here and there. Sometimes coloring in 2, sometimes coloring in 3, sometimes coloring in 1. With the YR15, that lighter orange, and sometimes went over the pink as I did there, and you can see that it adds another color to the lion. Darker orange, the YR68. On his body, I just used the same thing that I did on his face, the Y35. Put in a little bit more of that YR23 here. And then I decided that wasn't quite enough, so I went ahead and added some pink. Blend that out a little bit with the lighter color. Okay, and on his tummy, just use some E50. Oops. Some R20. Darken up those cheeks just a little bit with some RV. Oop, keep going the wrong side. RVOO. Okay, so isn't he fun? I really like it. All right, so back to the one that's already complete. Let's see, what else do we need to show on him? This piece, I didn't have a stamp that said roar, and so I printed out a pink square on the computer and put in typing that's white, so that's pretty cool. I also, you can see here, I made him a little tail. I just used my Copic markers and made a little tail and then cut it out and put it on top of the black tail that you see here. All right, okay, so let's take a look at this one, the finished one. You can see I used images, more images from the stamp set. I used the I love you banner here and the greenery. The little tiny flowers there here are from this bear and bird set from Waffle Flower. Use this little tiny flower down here. They're the same color as his mane to tie it all together. Now, I didn't have a stamp that said roar, but I just kind of thought he was like roar because he's so cool. So I printed a pink square on the computer and used white type to make that little stamp. And I did the same thing on the inside. I didn't really have a sentiment that I wanted to use. So this is no lion, I want you to be my Valentine. And I also did that on the computer. Now you can tell it's got some like orange around it. And I also did that on this little tiny one. It might be a little harder to see. But I basically just used this little brush and my orange out of the Colorbox to kind of make it the same as the rest of the card. So that worked out really well. And this is a flower from the lion set as well. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you make a very cool gatefold frame card for yourself. You can always find me at shushupaperart.com.